Well, coming out of the woods,
We were in the woods?
well, talking about it, an innovative kaleidoscope of music and theater came to the United Methodist Church in Plains on Wednesday, April 14th at 7 p.m. Violinist Linda Rosenthal, who performs on a violin made in 1772 in Turin, Italy, joins forces with actor Bill Blush in a program called Strings and Stories. Commissioned in 1995 by the Education Department of the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., Strings and Stories, the show, offers a great variety of styles and sounds, ranging from classical short stories, insightful letters and prose by Leonard Bernstein and Beethoven, to the music of Bach and Paganini. Let's take a look at part of their performance.
So, without further ado, we present to you Ferdinand the Bull. Once upon a time in Spain, there was a little bull, and his name was Ferdinand. All the other little bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together. But not Ferdinand. He liked to sit just quietly and smell the flowers. He had a favorite spot in the pasture under a cork tree, and he would sit in its shade all day and smell the flowers. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry about him. Why don't you run and play with the other little bulls and skip and butt your head, she would say. But Ferdinand would shake his head. I like it better over here, where I can sit just quietly and smell the flowers. And because his mother was understanding, even though she was a cow, she let him sit there and be happy. Well, as the years went by, Ferdinand grew and grew until he was very big and strong. All the other bulls who had grown up with him in the same pasture, they would fight each other all day. They would butt each other and stick each other with their new horns. What they wanted most of all was to be picked to fight at the bullfights in Madrid. not Ferdinand. He still liked to sit just quietly under the cork tree and smell the flowers. Well, one day, 5 men on horseback came to pick the biggest, the fastest, the roughest bull to fight at the bullfights in Madrid. All the other bulls run around puffing and snorting, leaping and jumping so that the men would think they were strong and fierce and pick them. Now, Ferdinand knew that they wouldn't pick him, and he didn't care. So when he went up to his favorite cork tree to sit down, he didn't look where he was sitting. And instead of sitting on the nice cool grass in the shade, he sat on a bumblebee. Well, if we were a bumblebee and a bull sat on us, what would we do? Oh, Ferdinand jumped up with a snort. He ran around puffing and snorting, butting and pawing the ground as if he were mad. Well, the 5 men saw this, and they shouted with joy. Here was the largest and the fiercest bull of all, just the one for the bullfights in Madrid. So they took him away for the bullfight day in a cart. And what a day it was. Flags were flying, bands were playing, and all the lovely ladies had flowers in their hair. They had a parade into the bull ring. First came the banderilleros. They carried little sticks. Next came the picadores. They carried long spears. Next came the matador, the proudest of all. And then came the bull, and we know who that was. Ferdinand walked to the middle of the bull ring, and everyone thought he was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and stick his horns around. But not Ferdinand. When he saw the flowers and all the lovely ladies' hair, he just sat down and smelled. He wouldn't fight no matter what they did. He just sat and smelled. And the banderilleros were angry. And the picadores were even angrier. And the matador was so angry because he couldn't show up. He cried. So they had to take Ferdinand home. And he is sitting there still, under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers just quietly. He is very happy.
Well, thank you, Bill Blush and Linda Rosenthal, for coming all the way out to our neck of the woods to give us a great show. And special personal thanks to Angel Crawford of Plains for lending her camera expertise and filling in for me as I couldn't be there. And many thanks to the Sanders County Arts Council for continuing to bring cultural events to our community.